week, we talked about the diminishing number of potential law enforcement officers signing up for the police academies here in the Garden State and the rising number of those law enforcement officers retiring early. Well, today, we delve a little deeper into the current state of law enforcement. The night that George Floyd was murdered, the original Minneapolis Police Department press release read, "Man dies after medical incident during police interaction." The release claimed that Floyd had resisted arrests and then suffered medical distress after being cuffed. Well, we of course eventually found out that was a gross depiction of what really happened, thanks to multiple videos from bystanders at the scene that night. Video from cell phones during incidents like this have become a huge trend. Combine that with body-worn cameras, and law enforcement officials find themselves under the proverbial microscope, which only adds to the stress of being a police officer.
If people have a constitutional right to videotape law enforcement, and that's something that officers understand. Body cameras, we feel, are an officer's best friend in many cases, because what your eye sees in a quick run of somebody, moving quickly towards an officer, what a camera can do and slow down and show that officer, you didn't see the gun, but the officer saw the gun. We find that body cameras are really a safety tool for the officer and for the public. So I don't find that that's so much the issue. It's the punditry, it's the politicization of those decisions before the facts have come out, before the video has been analyzed. We've dumped those on the social media, and look what just happened in Columbus, right, where political leaders were calling that officer a murderer when really he saved somebody's life.
And we've long known that body-worn cameras can play a critical role in these efforts because they encourage professionalism. They promote better interactions between police and the public. They enhance our accountability efforts. And as an objective witness to law enforcement actions, they bolster public confidence.
Of course, given the current climate, perhaps one of the more pressing questions is, why does it appear there are more white law enforcement officers shooting unarmed African Americans versus African American law enforcement officers shooting unarmed Caucasians?
Again, in all honesty, Phil, I don't think you see the incidents on national news where a white police officer uses deadly force on a white subject. And if I'm not mistaken, that happens 3 times more likely. There seems to be, again, and it's media involved, and I know you're media, but sometimes that's the story and the incidents. And not that it makes it right either that it's a white officer on a white subject, but I think we have to, this country is so polarized by racial issues, especially right now in 2021, that I think if there was some way that we could get beyond that and get beyond and do those things where we are engaged with community at a level where I get to know you, Phil, I know your name, I know your face in a way that we've never seen before. And then it's not white officers in a French blue uniform on a black unarmed or armed subject.
By the way, the Washington Post created a database of every known deadly police shooting in America since 2015. And as of this writing, 6,211 people have been shot and killed by law enforcement officers. 46% of them, that's 2,883 to be exact, were white, while 24%, 1,496, were black. In Trenton, for Jersey Matters, I'm Phil Andrews.
Welcome to Antique Barn Bakery. My name is Joe Costello. Come on in. When I found this building for sale, one of the things that struck me about it was the gigantic oven at the back of the bakery. And we realized they're not making any more of these ovens. And that's really what sets us apart from every place else. This is porcelain brick. It's over 100 years old. Again, 30-ton, 400 square foot oven, burns up to 2,000 degrees. And this was a functioning bakery for almost 100 years. And we learned that it actually was a mission at one point before that. So this was a place where the needy came in and got meals. And I think it's just part of the DNA of the building. It's in our DNA in a restaurant, is to serve people, to make people happy. So we do 36-ounce grass-fed bone-in ribeye. We do whole roasted chicken, and we do whole roasted fish with the head on. But we do any number of pasta dishes, and we really pull from the American palate. Frank Sinatra, when he was a child, would come to this bakery and buy bread. But when Frank Sinatra became an international superstar, he had a guy who would go around Hoboken with a suitcase and load up the suitcase with antique bread and other bakeries, and then take that to Palm Springs, California. So that's a great story, a great legend, if you will. The most difficult thing about the pandemic for us was, in the very beginning, was not knowing what was going to happen. That time was valuable time for us to execute our plan and to pivot into takeout and delivery, because we were not traditionally that. That has now led us to becoming national with our food. We're going on Goldbelly, so people across the country will be able to order food from this restaurant. We brought back all of our employees, and it's just exciting to have everybody back, because for us, this restaurant is only as valuable as the people who are working here. That's the truth. And we really feel that. There's like a renewed spirit, and everybody's so happy to be back here. And you feel that when you come here. You really do.